So everybody, it's Xilicks here, and welcome to the first league of Fantasy Week 1 here in the GBA D-League. Exciting times, exciting times. Those of you who did play the Fantasy back in Season 7 of the main league will remember how this works and how it's played. Some of the rules have been changed and updated, so if you are a veteran player, you do want to stay tuned for this video, and if you're a brand new player to Fantasy, you want to check this out. Get updated on the rules and see how you can play for the rest of the season. That's right, you can play. The way Fantasy League works is the fans get to play their own little game where Mons score points each week, and depending on how well they do will give them more or less points. Each week you will be able to pick Mons and coaches that you think are going to gain a lot of points, and your points will be tallied up and kept on a big scoreboard on the fan document. The next question is, well, how do you get points? And that's what we're going to get into over on the forum. Alright, so taking a look at the Week 1 form, this is down in the description and will be every week. Dallas StarU has set up an amazing system where it will use the same link every week, so you may want to bookmark the link or save it somewhere, or just check the video description every week and it will be there. This will automatically open and close, as there are time limits as to when you have to fill this out, but we'll get into that in a little bit. So the way this is going to work is each week you'll be able to pick 3 offensive Mons, 3 defensive Mons, 1 all-star, and a coach of the week. What does that all mean? First off, let's look at offensive, because that's probably going to be what most people are looking towards whenever they're making their picks. So for starters, if a Mon gets a final blow, the way a final blow works is they deal damage that results in another Mon fainting. This does not count a hazard kill, this does not count a status kill. It has to be they go for a physical or special attack that results in the opposing Mon to faint. You get 2 points for that. Getting consecutive final blows, you will get the amount of final blows you get times 2. I do understand that on this sheet it says times 4. Minor typo, it will be fixed probably by the time you guys get to the forum, but I am recording this at a weird hour and it's not able to be edited right now, but don't worry, this will be scored as times 2, not times 4. So if a Mon gets a sweep of, let's just say, 3 Mons in a row, then you would have 2 plus 2 plus 2 times 2 to get the multiplier. If there is an OCO, you get plus 3 instead of plus 2. To classify as an OCO, it has to be 100% HP, down to 0, and 1 attack, either physical or special. This will replace the final blow points, so you don't get plus 5, you would only get plus 3 for a final blow. And final blows, OCOs count within consecutive final blows. So let's say you get 2 final blows and 1 OCO, it'd be the 2 plus 2, so 4, plus the 3, times 2 if it's consecutive. And if you choose an offensive Mon that goes down without getting any final blows, any OCOs, that Mon will receive minus 3 for the week. Next up, we have the scoring for defensive picks. So there is some new things here, so if you were a player last season, you do want to check up on the new defensive rules. Neutral hits are now 1 point. Last season there were no neutral hits, this season there are. What classifies as a neutral hit is, say, a normal type goes for a normal type attack against a water type. That would be a neutral hit. It's not resisted, not super effective, and the Mon taking the hit will gain 1 defensive point. A resisted hit would be plus 2, and a super effective hit would be plus 3. For the Mon to gain those points, they must actually survive the hit, and if a Mon gets OCO'd, minus 3 points. So now you may be thinking, okay, well there's offensive Mons and defensive Mons, well what's classified as an offensive Mon or defensive Mon? You, as the player, get to pick that. So you will see in a little bit under this form, there will be 3 offensive slots and 3 defensive slots. You can pick whatever you want for your offensive Mons and whatever you want for your defensive Mons. However, the Mons that you pick for offense will only gain their offensive points and utility points, which we will be getting into in a moment, and the defensive Mons will only be gaining their defensive points plus their utility points. So now, let's get into the utility points. If the Mon is brought, you get plus 1. So let's say you pick Sylveon as an offensive pick and it gets brought, you automatically gain +1 point. If it is not brought, so say you pick Sylveon and it did not get brought that week, then you're going to get -1. If the Mon sets up hazards or removes hazards, they'll be gaining 1 point. If they give a status or remove a status, this does count the random chance statuses. So if a Sludge Bomb gets the 30% poison, they will be gaining the 1 point for that. Last season, you could only get it from using the actual move. This season, you can get it from the random percent chances as well. If you heal an ally with either Wish, Healing Wish, Lunar Dance, Z move, whatever it may be, you'll be gaining +2 points. Keep in mind this is not healing yourself, but only healing an ally. If you remove an item by either knocking off, tricking, switcheroo, pickpocket, magician, etc., you will be gaining 1 point. So again, these utility points are added to your defensive points. So say at the end of the day, your Mon has 5 defensive points and 3 utility points, then you'll be gaining 8 points defensive. And let's say that same Mon gets 2 offensive points, then you'll have 2 plus the 3, so 5 offensive points. However, you can only pick a Mon for either offense or defense. Can't have them as both. Moving into the All-Star. So what is the All-Star? The All-Star is going to be different every week and is going to be the one Mon that has the highest points for that week. This does not count offense plus defense, it's just the Mon that, say there's a Mon that has 15 offensive points and nothing else has 15, then that Mon is the All-Star. It can be either offensive or defensive, but not both added together. If there are multiple Mons tied, then there will be multiple All-Stars. And if you correctly pick the All-Star, you gain the points that that All-Star scored and +5. If you do not correctly pick the All-Star, then it's +0. So it can be a gamble. If you think a Mon is going to do very well and you are confident that it is going to get the All-Star, you may want to set it as your All-Star. If you think it's going to do well, but you're not totally confident that it's going to be that #1 spot, you may just want to set it as an offensive or defensive pick as to not take the risk. Next up, we have the Coach of the Week bonus. The way this is going to work is you're going to pick a coach that you think is going to do the best that week, and you will gain their differential. If you pick a coach that won, you will, let's say they won by 5-0, you will gain +5. If you picked a coach that lost by, let's say, 0-3, you'll be gaining -3. If you happen to pick the coach that has the best differential that week or tied for the best differential that week, you will also be gaining +3 points on top of their differential, meaning the best you could gain from the Coach of the Week bonus is a +9. So here we have the schedule that I mentioned previously. This schedule is going to be a little bit different this week, as obviously this video is late. Normally Fantasy will be uploaded every Tuesday, so you can see what the scores were from the previous week, from the battles on the Sunday before. You can have time to fill out your form before Friday at midnight. At Friday at midnight, the form will be closing because the team builders go up on Saturday, but obviously since this video is a little bit late, we are going to be giving you guys up until Saturday at midnight, so you'll have a little bit of extra time to fill out this form, but normally it'll be Tuesday to Friday. And again, everything on this Google form is brought to you by Dallas Staryu. Go follow him on Twitter. He does a lot of work for the league when it comes to documents and these forms. He really does above and beyond work. Give him a follow on Twitter, sub to him on YouTube, help the guy out. He definitely deserves the appreciation. So now let's get into the form. So first up, you're going to have to enter your email address. This is not going to be public, so you do not have to worry. No one's going to be seeing your email address. The only reason we have to get this information is so that way we can verify it's the same people each week, because we do have a scoreboard, and if you put in a different email address, then it won't count you as the same person. So if you want to see what your score is total at the end of the season, use the same email address. Now, for the username, this will be public, so people will be able to see the same username every week. Make sure you follow the instructions here. You want to have the same one every week. and this will be public, so keep that in mind. It'll be public. You want the same one every week. So just putting that out there. And any like inappropriate usernames or like people very obviously trying to impersonate someone will probably get removed, so try to, you know, use common sense with this. Okay, so now we are in the portion where you get to make your picks. So first, offensive pick, you can use this drop down menu and you can pick the mon. You no longer have to type it compared to last season where you had to, and I believe that these only show the mons that were drafted, so it'll be very easy just to be like, okay, well, I know that somebody has a Latios, I want to pick Latios as my first offensive pick, right? You can do that. Plain and simple, very easy. It removes a lot of the errors from last season. So yeah, make sure you pick 3 offensive, 3 defensive, and an all-star. Now, when it comes to the all-star, make this different from one of your offensive or defensive picks. So let's say you want Cobalion as the all-star, then don't also pick Cobalion as a defensive pick or an offensive pick for that matter. The reason why is because if Cobalion is the all-star, you don't get double points. You'll only get the points once. A lot of people were confused on that last season. They said, hey, you know, I picked Amon twice and I didn't get the points twice. Not how it works. You'll only get the points once, so you are potentially missing out on some points there. So then once you're satisfied with all of your picks, you pick your coach of the week as well. Then you can click the I'm not a robot and submit your form. Again, make sure you have the same username, same email address each week, and these picks can be whatever you want them to be. Alright, so now that you guys do know how to play, I am going to basically go over like all the links and stuff that you guys need to be aware of, and how the rest of the season is going to flow. So first thing is, once you fill out that form, you can fill it out each week, as obviously, you know, each week there's going to be new battles, you make new picks each week, and the previous week and the following week do not affect the current week. The current week is going to be different every time, so if you do really poorly one week, totally fine, play again next week, you might do better, you could do worse, you never know. It's kind of a guessing game, and there's a bit of strategy involved in where you make your picks and how you're making picks. Another big thing that I want to note is that all you guys have to do to play is fill out that form the correct way. You don't have to tally the points, you don't have to do any of that. All of that will be done by us, and all you have to really do is fill out that form, and then you can see your points on the fan document under the fantasy tab. Link for that in the description, link for the form in the description. So yeah, I will see you guys every single Tuesday, and each Tuesday we'll be going over the previous week as well as predictions for the next week, and then of course the links and everything will be included each week. The form does use the same link every week, so if you do want to bookmark that, you can, and then you'll easily be able to, whenever it's Tuesday, you can fill out the form and be good to go for that week. As far as other things, if you need assistance, you can speak to me directly on Twitter at XILICKS, or you can join the fan Discord, also linked down below. We have our own fantasy channel where we do discussion on what we think about the picks this week or how well people did whenever they're talking about their previous thing. You can also use the fan Discord to keep in touch with the coaches, the analysts, and other fans, so it's a great resource to use if you are a fan of the GBA. I'll see you guys next time. Thanks, bye.